Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Metropolis Radio. And well, it looks like Disney is going to be kind of relaxing on the Marvel and Star Wars output. If this article from the Hollywood Reporter is to be believed, how much is too much Marvel and Star Wars? Disney rethinks franchise output as Disney chief Bob Iger pledges to be "quote unquote" better at curating releases. Fiscal discipline may impact an expansive Disney Plus original slate. Call it a franchise recession. After years of Marvel and Star Wars movies and shows inundating screens big and small, Disney is putting the brakes on the output of some of its biggest franchises and brands following Bob Iger's February 8th comments that the company needs to be quote-unquote better at curating franchise content that's extraordinarily expensive. Added Iger, quote, "We want the quality on the screen, but we have to look at what they cost us." Yes, and this comes almost immediately after, I think a day or two ago, Bob Iger came out and regretted getting all high on the early Disney Plus subscriber numbers because it totally wasn't a fluke. It wasn't like COVID had happened and every streaming service under the fucking sun got their subscriber numbers elevated and then the problem itself course corrected. No, it was going to stay that way for years and years and years to come. Just ask David Zaslav and the people over at Netflix how things are going right now stock wise. I think let me look this up. What was it? Warner Bros. Discovery stock. I think it's trading below $20. Okay, yeah. Warner Bros. Discovery stock at $15.43 a share. So yeah. How did that merger go for you? Did those huge subscriber numbers stay long after COVID? Didn't fucking think so. Anyway, the directive to rein in costs and output arrives as Disney prepares to release Marvel's Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania on February 17th. As of the recording of this, that would have been yesterday, because this is coming out February 18th, 2023. And as The Mandalorian Season 3 awaits its March 1st Disney Plus debut. And as of the recording of this video, again, this is coming out February 18th, 2023. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania has the second lowest Rotten Tomatoes score of any Marvel movie, with tomato meter at only 48%. Again, that's as of the recording of this. By the time this goes up, that number could go up, it could go down. We don't know. But the critics' consensus right now is, quote, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania mostly lacks the spark of fun that elevated earlier adventures, but Jonathan Majors as Kang is a thrilling villain poised to alter the course of the MCU. And just to put this into perspective, there is only one MCU movie that actually ranks lower on Rotten Tomatoes than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And that would be Eternals at a 47% Rotten Tomatoes score. So, yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, congratulations, you were better than Eternals. But that's not really saying much, right? You're kind of the best of the worst in that regard. Not really something you go and hang up. Not really something you go and hang up on the shelf there. Hang up on the fridge. Not hang up on the shelf. I don't know what I was thinking. Marvel is Disney's most important supplier of product, the subsidiary with the highest output, and under Iger's directive, it could feel cuts the soonest. Quote, "There is going to be a level of rigor on Marvel and across the entire company." One company insider says, "Numbers matter now and costs are going to be outlined and enforced." And again, as of the recording of this video, another article came out, almost seemingly out of nowhere. Disney pushes the Marvels out of summer, right? The sequel to Captain Marvel. I'll just read the first couple of paragraphs, then we'll jump back. Disney is making moves to its release calendar and has pushed Marvel Studios as the Marvels out of summer and into the fall. Ow. The Marvel starring Brie Larson will now open November 10th, pushed back from its previous July 28th date. In a twin move, the theme park-based Haunted Mansion is jumping into the July 28th spot, shifting from August 11th. So now we have yet another Marvel delay. Again, this news just came out as I was recording it, is that, they're pushing the Marvels, back from, what do they say? July 28th now, I think, now to November 10th. So, that's a thing. probably as a result of this, if we're being fair. In what feels like a different timeline ago, at July San Diego Comic-Con, this would be July 2022, not July 2023, we're not there yet. Marvel chief Kevin Feige put the pedal to the metal when he outlined 5 Disney Plus shows for 2023. What If Season 2, Echo, Loki Season 2, Ironheart, and Agatha Coven of Chaos. Now, sources tell The Hollywood Reporter that Loki Season 2 and the Samuel L. Jackson-led Secret Invasion are the only sure bets to debut this year. Now, when we're talking about Loki Season 2, that makes sense that would move forward, because jumping over to this article from Screen right here, I don't remember if I did a video on it at the time or if I skipped it, but it was Loki sets MCU record as the most watched Marvel series on Disney+. So, you know, so you're gonna have Loki, you know, your most watched show. Of course you're gonna greenlight Season 2. You're not gonna push that to the wayside in hopes that in favor of Ironheart or Echo or even Agatha Coven of Chaos, right? You got to strike while the iron is hot. And with regards to the Samuel L. Jackson Secret Invasion series coming out, well, you know, you really can't go wrong with a little Sam Jackson.
What? Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
Hey, Zeus, right? John McClane, I owe you one.
Damn right you owe me. You got any idea what those guys are doing to my shop right now?
Chill out, hey, Zeus.
Chill out? What the fuck? Are you trying to relate to me? Talk like a white man.
Okay, Zeus, I'm sorry you got involved.
Why you keep calling me Jesus? I look Puerto Rican to you.
Guy back there called you Jesus.
He didn't say Jesus. He said, hey, Zeus. My name is Zeus.
Zeus?
Yeah, Zeus. As in father of Apollo, Mount Olympus. Don't fuck with me or I'll shove a lightning bolt up your ass. Zeus! You got a problem with that?
Nature can be lethal, but it doesn't hold a candle to man. Now you've seen how bad things can get and how quick they can get that way. Well, they can get a whole lot worse. So we're not going to fight anymore. We're going to pull together and we're going to find a way to get out of here. First, we're going to seal off this.
Enough is enough! I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane! Everybody strap in! I'm about to open some fucking windows.
You know, that last movie clip I showed you, that was not a great movie. Probably the best line in that whole movie. I am tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. Even projects that wrapped months ago, such as the Hawkeye spinoff Echo and Wakanda Forever spinoff Ironheart, are unlikely to arrive in 2023 as the studio spreads out its content and tinkers in post-production. And shows in development such as Nova are now on a slower path. Now let me go ahead and what's the word I'm looking for? Let me go ahead and decode this for you. Even projects that wrapped months ago, such as the Hawkeye spinoff Echo and Wakanda Forever spinoff Ironheart, are unlikely to arrive in 2023 as the studio spreads out its content and tinkers in post-production. I think what I personally believe is that this is a reference to an article that came out last July 2022. I'm pulling this from The Gamer, but a lot of outlets were reporting on this. VFX artists are refusing to work with Marvel due to stress and unrealistic deadlines. VFX artists call Marvel the worst client to work for. And let me read you some of the comments here. Here we go. In a thread titled, "I'm quite frankly sick and tired of working on Marvel shows," Reddit user Independent 8419 expressed their frustration with the studio. Quote, "Marvel has probably the worst methodology of production and VFX management out there. They can never fix the look for the show before more than half the allocated time for the show is over. The artists working on Marvel shows are definitely not paid equivalent to the amount of work they put in." Others in replies are quick to agree. Quote, "On Thor, they asked for a complete mini-sequence 2 or 3 weeks before deadline," says Sam VFX 2015. Mickey Moo Moo's account is much the same. Quote, "I request to not work on Marvel movies and TV shows. Unfortunately, they're becoming our biggest client. They expect a smorgasbord of options so they can change their mind 3 more times. Those who haven't been able to avoid working with Marvel confirm that it hasn't improved in recent years. Quote, "I'm on almost 3 years straight of Marvel. Welcome to the 7th level of hell." Another user shares their time at Marvel and has been a quote-unquote black hole of sleep deprivation and eating bad. Another thread from 3 months ago contains even more damning accounts of what it's like to work with Marvel. These allegations were shared when another VFX artist was disappointed to lose out on the opportunity to work with Marvel, something their industry peers reassured him was no great loss. Quote, "I am on my 3rd Marvel project in a row and literally just woke up 5:30 a.m. on a Saturday with stress going, I don't want to do this anymore," writes Rand DVR. "It's 6 a.m. now, and I am making a reel to apply someplace that has projects other than Marvel because I can't do this anymore." Mickey Moo Moo shared a particularly shocking account of their time working with the studio. Quote, "Marvel had seen grown men punch walls and throw monitors from stress. I broke down a couple of times and have seen the strain it can put on marriages, but hey, the money was fantastic. Fuck Marvel as a client. The credit name is not fucking worth it." Again, their words, not mine. So, again, kind of decoding what they're saying here about the studio spreading out its content and tinkering in the post-production, I think they're doing this solely to keep the VFX artists happy, right? That, you know, you're going to spread out these shows and movies instead of stacking them on top of each other like you have been doing, because here's the thing, especially with being the top dog. It doesn't matter if you're the top dog in the industry if nobody wants to work for you. If every VFX artist is coming out and saying, you know what, fuck Marvel, it's not worth the stress. Yeah, you get a resume boost, but is it really worth the ulcers? Well, some are probably going, yeah, probably not, fuck Marvel, and moving on. Probably why they're looking to probably why they're also looking out to spread these shows. It's not just about, you know, Disney themselves losing millions of dollars per, you know, release of these movies. Again, if you burn through every VFX artist and nobody wants to work for you, well, you're kind of screwed there. But getting back to the main Hollywood Reporter article, and shows in development such as Nova are now on a slower path. As a point of comparison, during its Phase 4, Marvel Studios released a breakneck 18 projects across theatrical and streaming, 4 films and 5 TV shows in 2021, 3 films and 3 TV shows in 2022, plus a few specials. The studio released just 11 projects from Phase 3, which ran from 2016 to 2019. And again, I want to put this into perspective. Phase 4 of the MCU, I haven't done a video on this in specific, but I think I brought it up in my Why the MCU is Dying video. Is Phase 4 of the MCU is over 57 hours long. That is longer than Phases 1, 2, and 3 combined. So, yeah, burnout much there? Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige echoed the new direction. Quote, "The pace at which we're putting out the Disney Plus shows will change," Feige told Entertainment Weekly in an interview published this week, knowing that there will be fewer shows and that they will be more spaced out. Well, no shit. You know, and they're gonna move on to Star Wars. So I'm gonna wrap up my thoughts on Marvel Marvel right here. I would argue that the Disney Plus shows themselves have caused the most amount of damage to the MCU at this point, right? If we compare the Disney Plus shows to shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter, right? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter were very loosely connected to the movies, right? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter would reference the movies, but the movies would never reference the shows. So if you go in and you only watch the MCU movies and you ignored Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., don't worry about it. You can still understand the movie. But now, you know, for example, if you want to watch Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, you have to watch WandaVision in order to understand even half the movie. In fact, many people were saying Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was basically the sequel to WandaVision. So unless if you saw WandaVision, well, you were basically SOL, shit, so out of luck, shit out of luck, whatever you want to use, right? So now Marvel has made it effectively a full-time job just to keep up with the MCU, and most casuals are basically just saying, you know what, fuck this, I'm out. Right, now let's move on. Now they're talking about Star Wars. Star Wars is facing the opposite challenge. After being absent from the big screen since 2019 and having had false starts with Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron, which may never materialize, Disney has ramped up its efforts to return the franchise to theaters. Damon Lindelof led a writer's room in July to hash out a story for a feature, and Taika Waititi is still developing his own take on the franchise. Disney is expected to unveil film plans at Star Wars Celebration set for April in London. This will be April 2023, so a couple months after this video comes out. On top of Season 3 of Mandalorian, shows expected to hit the streaming service this year include Ahsoka, starring Rosario Dawson, and the John Watts-produced Skeleton Crew. Quote, Lucasfilm may ramp up, but it will have to abide by the same fiscal discipline as the rest of the company. Excuse me. Here's the biggest problem with Star Wars, right? Is you can only put out so much crap for so long before people just check out. Now, I've heard that Andor wasn't a bad show, but nobody watched Andor. In fact, I remember doing a video on Andor. I think it was why casual audiences aren't watching Andor or something like that. And I made note that Parrot Analytics, which is a third party firm similar to Nielsen, was reporting that Andor had the lowest audience demand of any Star Wars show released up to this point. And even IndieWire here, you know, is their headline. This comes from an article written back in November of 2022. Where is Andor's massive audience? Blame Disney for too many bad Star Wars stories. So you even have IndieWire that's basically coming on saying, yeah, you know, these Star Wars shows and movies have all kind of sucked. And here's a quote directly from Tony Gilroy, the showrunner of Andor. Quote, I think I was surprised, the Andor showrunner said in a recent interview with Variety. I thought the show would have this gigantic, instantaneous audience that would just be everywhere, but that it would take forever for non-Star Wars people or critics or my cohort of friends to get involved in the show. The opposite happened. We ended up with all this critical praise, all this deep appreciation and understanding from a really surprising number of sources, and we're chasing the audience. Again, with Star Wars, you can only release so much crap for so long before everybody just decides to check out, right? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Now let's get back to this main Hollywood Reporter article. Observers are calling it a quote-unquote massive correction from only a few years ago when the entertainment industry was hell-bent on giving consumers endless amounts to watch and spending endlessly in doing so. Quote, you can have 10 mediocre shows or you can have 5 great shows, says one agency partner whose clients work on the franchise plays. People will still stay on Disney Plus. Again, going back to the idea of, you know, you can only put out so much crap before people, by and large, just check out, right? What would you rather have? Would you rather have 10 shows that range from mediocre to crap? Or would you rather focus on 5 shows that you could make great? Most people would say go for the latter and not the former. So, and only dumbasses will tell you to go for the former and not the latter. So now we're jumping over into animation, Walt Disney Animation Studios / Pixar. On the animation front, 2022 was a tough one for Disney, which saw Pixar's Lightyear underperform and Disney Animation's Strange World outright bomb. And in fact, Strange World was so bad that I'm pulling this from the New Yorker. This was published December 1st, 2022. After Disney's Strange World bombs, film critics says go woke, go broke. So now the film critics, because of Strange World, had to start finally adopting the mantra of get woke, go broke, or a variation thereof. And where was it? Oh crap, I can't find it anymore. Here we go. Poor performing movies. Okay, no, it wasn't in here, but still, my point being is that, yeah, Strange World was so bad that even the critics could not ignore it. Iger announced 3 new sequels to the $1 billion brands, Toy Story, Frozen, and Zootopia. Do we really need a Toy Story 5? Like, be honest about that, right? Toy Story 3 was the perfect ending. They should have just left it alone. Toy Story 4 was crap. You know, it had another ending, but Toy Story 4 didn't need to exist. Why Toy Story 5? And why Frozen 3? Zootopia, I could see a sequel working to, but still, why Toy Story 5? Why Frozen 3? It makes no sense. And Disney insiders have acknowledged recent box office woes were exacerbated by confusion in the marketplace from families who were trained during the pandemic just to wait for animated features to end up on Disney+. And here's the funny thing with Disney's animated movies, and the one I think of is Encanto. Here we go. This article from September 11th, 2021 on Collider. Disney's Encanto will hit Disney Plus on Christmas Eve, 30 days after theatrical release. And Encanto, it actually made a good chunk of change at the box office. Encanto had a $50 million budget, an estimated $50 million budget. It still grossed $256,786,752 worldwide, despite hitting Disney Plus only 30 days later because they wanted a Christmas Eve release. Right? If Disney did not do that, if they kept Encanto in the theaters, it probably would have made more money. And I actually heard, now I've never seen Encanto for myself, but I heard that Encanto wasn't really that bad of a movie. But still, you know, if you're gonna share the news that, hey, don't worry guys, Encanto is gonna come to Disney Plus for free only 30 days after it comes to theaters, you know, you're sitting there and you have to now, you know, you have to weigh the possibility, you know, do I want to run the risk and go out to the theaters where I'm probably going to get some jackass on their phone and someone's going to bring a baby to a 9 o'clock movie. You know, do I want to run the risk of that, or am I just going to wait 30 days for it to come to Disney Plus and then I don't have to, you know, I don't have to deal with people? Screw it. I'll just wait the 30 days. That's obviously what I opted to do, and I still haven't even seen Encanto yet, despite the fact that, like I said, I've actually heard it wasn't too bad. Especially after this little musical number.
We don't talk about Jada, no, no, no. We don't talk about Jada.
Oh, wait, sorry, wrong one, but I can only play that one because otherwise Disney might copyright strike this down. But anyway, okay, here we go. There is talk of longer theatrical windows for Elemental. I think Elemental's coming from Pixar. In Disney Animation's Wish, in hopes of luring families back to theaters. But here's the thing that this article is not even touching on, and I'm surprised, and I'm kind of surprised that they didn't dedicate a paragraph to this, is that, you know, look at how much damage that Disney has done to Pixar's overall brand, and it started with Soul, right? Soul kept getting pushed back in terms of a theatrical release until Disney finally said, "Well, screw it, we're going to release it on Christmas Day on Disney Plus completely for free." They did the same thing. They did the same thing with Luca, right? They released it on Disney Plus for free. Right, it wasn't part of their premiere access, and then they released Turning Red on Disney Plus for free, not through premiere access. Despite the fact when Disney released Raya and the Last Dragon simultaneously between theaters and Disney Plus, they put Raya and the Last Dragon on Disney Plus premiere access. But Raya and the Last Dragon was not a Pixar movie. That was a Disney Animation Studios movie. So Disney Animation Studios, you had to pay that extra $30 if you wanted to watch it on Disney Plus when it came out simultaneously in theaters. But all the Pixar movies, well, you got to watch those on Disney Plus for no extra fee. So how much damage did that do to Pixar? Probably a lot more than what the Hollywood Reporter is caring to admit. And this article from Insider, Pixar staff in shock and disappointed that its next movie, Turning Red, will skip theaters and go straight to Disney Plus. This was written back last January 10th of 2022. Let me scroll down. Okay, here we go. Quote, "It's safe to say we're all feeling extremely disappointed." One Pixar staffer who agreed to speak on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to talk about the matter told Insider Friday after Disney made the announcement. "Until today," they continued, "we all thought Turning Red would be our return to the big screen, and everyone at the studio was so excited about it being this film in particular, it was quite a blow." Another staffer who also agreed to speak anonymously for the same reasons told Insider Sunday that it was a quote-unquote shock that the movie, slated to come out March 11th, got the straight-to-Disney Plus treatment. Right? It got the same treatment as a movie like Bambi 2. Actually, no, Bambi 2 did go straight to video. I think Aladdin Return of Jafar got a theatrical release. That's what I was getting confused with, right? So yeah, it's basically getting the same treatment as like Cinderella 2, Mulan 2, Bambi 2, all the straight-to-video sequels that really nobody asked for. Quote, "sucks, but I get it," the staffer went on to say, and then they were all talking about, COVID, but they're not. But what they also didn't talk about was the fact that you didn't have to pay the $30 fee to watch Soul or Luca or Turning Red like you did with, the Disney Animation Studios movies like Raya and the Last Dragon. But anyway, last paragraph here from this mainline Hollywood Reporter article. "The pullback on Disney Plus is coming amid an industry-wide shift in rethinking the best way to achieve profitability in streaming," adds one producer working on multiple projects around town. Quote, "Every studio and streamer is being forced to behave fiscally responsibly." Yes, because big subscriber numbers don't always mean that you're making more money. When you have a hit show like Squid Game, but you're still struggling to be profitable. Actually, I think Netflix was profitable, but still, you get my point. You can have, one of these streaming services can have the next Stranger Things or the next Squid Game. It's like, okay, you're getting like these, hundreds of millions of viewers, and somehow you're still losing money. How's that? How?
One of these things is not like the others. One of these things doesn't belong.
Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this right here because I know I've went extensively on this topic for today. If you guys stuck around this long, thanks so much for doing so. And if you've been following me long enough, I'm terrible at ending these videos. So I'll just see you guys next time.